Have you ever looked at your wife and felt like she's there, but somehow not really there? You talk, but it feels more like you're exchanging information than connecting. You love her, you still care, but something feels off. Like the spark that used to make everything click has faded into the background noise of everyday life. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. A lot of men hit that stage somewhere in their marriage. Work, stress, kids, bills, it all piles up. And before you know it, the emotional connection that once felt effortless now feels like a mystery you can't quite solve. But here's the truth most guys don't realize. Emotional connection isn't some romantic fluff or therapy talk. It's the foundation of everything else. Intimacy, trust, even attraction. When that connection fades, everything else eventually starts to follow. The good news? You can rebuild it. It's not gone. It's just buried under years of distraction and routine. And today, we're talking about 5 powerful ways husbands can emotionally reconnect with their wives. No gimmicks, no overcomplicated advice. Just real, practical steps any man can take to rebuild the closeness that once came naturally. Let's start with the first one. Number 1. Be fully present when you're with her. This sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest things for modern husbands to do. You can sit next to your wife on the couch every night and still not be present. You can be at dinner with her and still be lost in your phone, your work, or your thoughts. Presence isn't about being physically there, it's about mentally and emotionally showing up. Think about it. When you were dating, you were tuned in. You noticed her laugh, her tone, her eyes when she was telling a story. Now, you might be half listening while checking the game score or thinking about tomorrow's meeting. She feels that. Women are incredibly sensitive to presence. So here's a simple action. The next time she's talking, put down your phone. Look her in the eyes. Listen without trying to fix or respond. Just listen. Ask one follow-up question not to solve the problem, but to understand her better. That kind of attention tells her, you matter. I see you. And that's the foundation of emotional reconnection. Number 2, share what's going on inside you. Most men have learned to shut down emotionally to avoid conflict, stress, or rejection. You might think you're protecting her or yourself by keeping your struggles, frustrations, or feelings bottled up. But when you close off emotionally, you build a wall she can't climb. Your wife doesn't want you to be perfect. She wants to feel connected to what's real. If you've been distant or short-tempered, she doesn't just need an apology, she needs to understand what's behind it. Maybe it's stress from work, feeling unappreciated, or even guilt for drifting apart. Opening up about what's really going on doesn't make you weak. It makes you trustworthy. Here's an example. Instead of saying, I'm fine, when she asks what's wrong, try, I've been stressed about work lately, and I think it's been making me short with you. I don't like that and I'm working on it. That one sentence changes everything. It's honest, it's grounded, and it invites connection instead of distance. Number 3, bring back small acts of intentional kindness. When couples start to drift, they often stop doing the small things that built their connection in the first place. You used to send her a quick text just to say you missed her. You used to surprise her with her favorite coffee or hold her hand when you walked together. Then, life got busy, and those small gestures disappeared. But here's the thing, those little actions carry big emotional weight. They remind her she's not being taken for granted. Reconnection doesn't start with grand gestures, it starts with consistent, meaningful ones. Try this. Once a day, do one thing that says I care. It doesn't have to be expensive or dramatic. Maybe you give her a hug for no reason, or leave her a note saying you appreciate her. Maybe you take over a task she usually handles just to lighten her load. When those actions become consistent, she starts to feel emotionally safe again. Number 4, create space for real conversations. Too many couples only talk about logistics, what's for dinner, who's picking up the kids, what bills need to be paid. Those are necessary, but they don't build intimacy. Emotional connection grows through real conversations about dreams, fears, frustrations, and memories. When was the last time you asked your wife what she's been thinking about lately, outside of family or work? When was the last time you shared something you've been reflecting on? You might be surprised how eager she is for that kind of talk. Here's an idea. Schedule a connection night once a week. Phones away, TV off. Ask each other 3 simple questions. What's been good this week? What's been hard? What's one thing you need more of from me? These questions open the door for deeper understanding. And when you repeat this habit over time, it rebuilds trust and emotional closeness. Number 5, lead with appreciation, not criticism. A lot of emotional distance in marriage comes from constant low-level criticism, eye rolls, sarcasm, frustration, or nitpicking. Even if it's not mean-spirited, it chips away at the bond between you. Every time your wife feels unappreciated or misunderstood, she retreats a little further emotionally. Instead, start looking for what she's doing right. You don't have to fake it, just notice it. Maybe she handled a tough situation with the kids. Maybe she's been working hard, or maybe she just looks nice today. Say it out loud. I really appreciate how you handled that. You look great in that color. Thanks for taking care of that. I know it's a lot. When a husband starts leading with appreciation, something powerful happens. His wife softens, the walls start to come down. She feels seen and valued again. And when a woman feels emotionally secure, she naturally begins to open up and reconnect. Now, let's recap what we've covered. Reconnection doesn't happen by chance. It happens when you start being fully present, when you share what's real inside you, when you bring back the small acts of kindness that say, I care. It grows when you make space for meaningful conversations, and when you choose appreciation over criticism. Each of these steps on its own can make a difference, but together they can completely shift the emotional atmosphere in your marriage. You don't have to be perfect at this. You just have to start. The distance you feel right now isn't permanent. It's simply a sign that your marriage needs intentional attention, and you have the power to give it. Here's what I want you to remember. Your wife doesn't just want your help, your paycheck, or your presence in the house. She wants your heart. And when you lead with openness, gratitude, and attention, you remind her why she fell in love with you in the first place. So ask yourself this: which of these 5 ways do you think you need to work on first? Like, comment, and subscribe to Stronger Together for more marriage and relationship advice for men. Because when you grow stronger, your marriage grows stronger, and you become the kind of husband every man was meant to be.